Now, students, in this video, I'm going to do, we're concentrating again on services. So I'm going to do switches and lights with you. Okay, switches and lights. And there's a few little techniques that we need to, it's quite easy to do this, but there's a few little techniques that you need to know, which is why I've got my temporary sections in place here. Okay, so I'm going to place the switches first. And so these can be a little bit tricky. So I'm coming over to my electrical fittings, and I'm going down to these ones here. See this twin switched socket? No, I don't want a socket. I want an actual switch. Okay, here's the cooker switch. Back up again, and light switch. Here it is. Okay. Light switch single. Now, so I'm going to try this one first and see how we get on. So here's a single. So I'm left clicking, dragging it out. And you remember what I was saying to you, that these are hosted. Okay. Now, what I used to be able to do was to position that like so. See, it's placed on a face up here. Okay, so I'm going to position that one there. I'm going to escape. And I'm going to go into my section here now and see if that has come up. Yeah, absolutely perfect. So there's my switch there. Notice this little line that's coming down here. I'll explain to you what that is at a later stage. Okay, so I've got my switch in there. Back to my first floor plan. And perhaps this one needs to be a two-way because this one is going to control the light that's here, but also it probably needs to be switched down below so that before you come upstairs, you can switch that light on as well. So if I select that, hit the drop-down box here, and I pick the two-way, okay, let's see if that has changed. No, it hasn't. Let's pick that one. It's a double switch that I want. Okay, there it is there. Double switch. Perfect. Right, back to first floor plan here. And you can see now that's the symbol. As I told you, the symbol sits on top of the actual three-dimensional unit itself. And that's the switch, and this means that there's a double one in there. Right, so now that we're away here, we're going to put in a few more switches here. Now, notice here that I need to use my space bar, okay, to put that in. Space bar, like so. That's the switch in the bathroom, which should be on this side here. We probably need a switch here to light up inside the little storeroom there. Okay, we'll definitely need a switch in here for that, and then we'll definitely need a switch in here. Okay. Now, so I can check the location of these by, again, going into my temporary sections here. Pop this up here. So escape. I've just reversed that section. And upstairs, I've got that one is in and that one is in. That's perfect. So I can safely assume that my switches are in place here. I'll just come up a little bit more. Okay, we should be able to see them here. We are. Perfect. All right, so they're all in place. Let's just swing around here, switch there and switch there. Okay, so that wasn't too difficult, was it, in terms of positioning those? So switch light is what you're looking for there. Okay, switch light. That's the family. Now, there are other switches in here, but that's the one you're looking for in terms of your lights. All right. Now you can pop into your ground floor plan and put those switches in there as well. Now here we come to the trickier element. So we need some lights in here. And what you'll find is that the majority of light families, unless they specifically say something different, they are hosted on a ceiling. So if I go into this section here, you have to make sure that you have a ceiling in. See that compound ceiling, and then down below here, you've got a compound ceiling, another type of it there. This one has counterbattens with a little serviced area in here. Probably need that down there as well, but I'll just leave it there for the moment. So it's important because we're not working unless you have the ceiling in place. Okay. And what we're going to do is come over to these set of plans here. You probably haven't gone into these as yet. These are reflected ceiling plans. So look at this. Well, what I'll do first is I will open up my first floor plan here. Now I'm coming down to my families and into lighting. Okay, so do you remember we talked about clicking that one? They're recessed. That's a bulkhead. That's a wall light, and that's a pendant. So I'm going to use the pendants to start off with here. So if I drag the pendants out um, and try and position them here. Now it says place on face, and so if I put that there, I suspect what's going to happen is that let me see where my section is. So I'm just going to put that there, right? And come out. I'll go back into that section there now and have a look. You can see there it is there, sitting um, on the floor as such. So that's not where we want that, obviously. So how do we get around that? Well, how we get around that is by going into the reflected ceiling plan. So here's the reflected ceiling of the first floor. I'm going to double click this. Now what that is that is a plan where I'm now looking up, right? In plans, we've always looked down. We're now looking up. And what this should do is give me access to the ceiling element as well. So we'll do that again. We'll come back down here and find that pendant light. Okay, here it is here, and I'll drag it across. And now it's allowing me to position these. So I'm going to try and position these more or less in the center of the room. So I'm going to do that in the bathroom as well. I'm going to do one out on the landing. I'm going to do one here in the little kind of office area there. Now that's probably enough for that. Now let's get into our section. So I'll just move this back a little bit here. There. And there you go. Okay, so we've got our lights in position and they're hosted on the ceiling. However, go into the first floor plan. I can't see them. I know they're there, but I can't see them. Now, I'd have to mess around with cut planes on the view range and things like that. And I don't want to do that because the view range is doing its job. So this is what we need to do here. So I'll go back into that section 1, and I'm going to pick this light. Now, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Edit Family here. And there's the light there. I want to go into an elevation view. All right. And there's my ceiling. And there's the light unit sitting like so. All right. Now, don't touch anything else here. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to Model Line. It's in Create Model Line. And you're going to put a model line at that point there. And you're going to bring it directly up here. Now, what you want to do is you want to make that line long enough so that it cuts beyond the cut plane level in the view range. Okay. And that will be in around, say, if your floor to ceiling height was 3 meters and your cut plane is kind of set in around 1500 or something like that, it's generally 1200 to 1500. So I'm just going to go the extra length here, and I'm going to do that maybe 1700 here. All right, now escape. Okay. Okay, and I just go back to a 3D view. Now you can see there's that model line there. So I'm going to load this into the project. I'm going to overwrite the existing, and I'm going to answer yes to that. Okay. Now you can see that line. So let's just leave it there. But what it's done now is if I go into my first floor plan, now you can see the lights. All right, because whatever magic Revit is weaving, what it's done is that because that model line has crossed down through the view range reference plan, and you're asking me where the hell is that? And here it is here, view range. And you can see that the view range cut is at 1500. So that's where it's cut the plan. That's what we're looking at. And that's why we can see that. Now, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to move that out of the way a little bit. That one is okay. That one's okay. And I will move this dimension over here a little bit to get that out of the way as well. All right. Now, so that's pretty cool. So you can see our pendant lights. So the last thing we need to do here is we need to connect the switch to the light. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. If you watch that video from the Reva Kid on the electrical plans, you'll see that the guy who was doing that said you can do this with a detail line. So I might resort to that, but for the moment, I'm going to go into systems here and see the electrical and hit the drop down box there. And here's the wire, hit the drop down box there. I'm going to do an arc wire. Okay. And I'm not sure if it's going to pick this up. So let's pick that one up there. And okay, see if that'll work. All right. So I'm going to escape here now. So there's my wire. I'm just going to see if I can move that up a little bit here. Okay, so I don't want it as bendy as that. And I kind of would prefer that to be a broken line as well. Now, what I was hoping is that, yeah, so it has picked that. Now, I'm just going to try an experiment here. I'm going to pick that light switch and move it up here a little bit. No, you can see that the arc wire is not moving with it. So what I should really do is try and connect from that point to that point there. So I'm going to try that and just see if that can work for me. So electrical wire, arc wire. And I wonder if I pick the two first, but let's see if we can tab. No, doesn't like getting there. Tabbing through here. Okay. And it's not going to necessarily work. Oh, there's a little less of an arc there. Now, to be honest with you, it doesn't have to be connected. It sorry, it needs to go from that light. That switch to that light. Okay, but we're as I said, we're not electrical engineers. We're not going to follow the volts and all that kind of stuff way, that kind of thing. So we'll do that one more time. So electrical wire, arc wire, and I will pick it up from the center there. I'll come in down to here, and then yeah, I think if you just gently kind of move your cursor like that, right, it's going to give us oh, there you go. Now that wasn't too bad. Okay, so I've got that arc wire in there. Let's just check the properties of the wires here. And you can see it's got hot conductors and all that kind of stuff. Look, that's for the electrical engineer. What I'm interested in is, can I change the actual line? Material is aluminium. Is that there? So there's doesn't seem to be giving me an option here necessarily to change that. Okay, I probably let's hit VV on the keyboard here, and so it was wire, wasn't it? Wire types. Let's go down here. Wires. Let's see what we got here. Home run arrows and wire tick marks. Yeah, but no access to what the actual line itself is. All right. But so that's what you want to do. You want to connect up your wires like so. Let's just do this one, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do an arc wire, and I'm going to go from there to here. Okay, and then I'm going to go from there and bring this kind of down like that and hit escape. And you can see that that's going down to feed the switch down below there as well and connect those ones up. Okay, so that's my ground floor. That's my first floor, and you can do a similar thing to the ground floor there. And that's basically what we're looking for in terms of the electrical layout here. Is that, sorry, in terms of switches and lights. I'm going to do a second video here now, in which I'm going to do all your plugs and your cooker points and things like that as well.